Hey, Connie Knox here with Genealogy TV. I am super excited to be here at Rootstech 2020. Coming up here in just a few minutes, I've got an interview with Crista Cowan from Ancestry fame. She's going to answer some of your questions and some of mine. So we're going to jump into that interview here in just a moment. Hey, welcome back to another episode on Genealogy TV. I am here with Crista Cowan of Ancestry fame. Say hello.
Well, hello, everybody.
So you guys have had some big announcements here recently here at Rootstech. We're at Rootstech 2020. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our big announcements this year are around our content or our historical records. Of course, the big one being World War II draft cards.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so World War II draft cards, there are 36 million of them. We entered into a collaboration with the National Archives about 6.5 years ago to get all their young man's draft cards digitized, indexed, put online. Family Search collaborated with us on that. So I think something like 300,000 volunteers helped to index these records. And as of this week, they are finished. They are all online. They are fully searchable. And all the images are now also available on Ancestry.
Everything's online, you guys. Everything. What else do you have for me?
Okay, next announcement this week around content was the New York City birth, marriage, and death indexes.
Right.
Yeah, so about 14 million of those. So we're really excited about that. And then we just continue to put records online at a rate that kind of blows my mind. Last year, we put 1.8 billion, with a B, records online. It's the largest number of records we've ever published in a year.
Fantastic. That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready for a speed round on a couple questions?
Ooh, let's do it.
I got viewer questions for you.
Okay.
Hang on a second. I got to put my glasses on to see this. So here we go. All right. So one question was, if someone sets a tree as private and unsearchable,
Okay.
is the information still used in the algorithms to help Ancestry direct hints to others?
No. You said it was a speed round.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Speed round number 2.
Do you want me to elaborate on that? I can.
Yes, go ahead.
No. So, yeah, if your tree is private and unsearchable, which means you've checked the little box, do not include in indexes, we do not index your tree to make it searchable in any fashion. So you're not going to be included in the hinting systems that's generating hints for other users. You're not going to be included in Thrulines. But that also means if you've taken a DNA test, you're not going to be able to take advantage of any of those things for yourself, for your own tree either.
Okay, good. All right. So this question came from a video I did recently called 10 Places You Can Find Your Ancestors' Photos Online. And the question was, what if my ancestor's in Mexico?
That's an interesting question. So Ancestry does have a lot of customers in Mexico who are building family trees and uploading photos. So if you have started your family tree on Ancestry and we can recognize that that same ancestor is in someone else's tree, you'll get those photos as hints to your tree.
Fantastic, thank you. Next question came from a gal named, I'm assuming this is a girl, Douglasville Darling.
Okay.
Okay. And this was from our last, you and I did a Q&A session a while back. And she says, and I really thought this was an interesting question, so you got to think deep about this for a second. I wish there was a way to add slaves to trees. I know this does not make sense to some, but for those who are researching African Americans, tracing their roots may be helpful. So my kind of follow-up question is, I got to thinking about that. That would be really interesting if there was a way to attach enslaved persons to, and forgive me, I don't know how to say this politically correct, but attached those enslaved persons to the masters from those plantations or whatever.
Yep.
Do you have any?
There actually is a way to do that.
Okay, tell us.
So can I send people to one of my videos? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Or I can recreate it.
Okay.
Either way.
So I have created a video called "Documenting the Enslaved in Your Family Tree." My mom's family is from the South, and we have quite a few slave owners in our family history. And I did want to capture that information, both because it is part of our family history, but also because I want to make sure that that information is made accessible to the descendants of those enslaved individuals. And so what you can do is you can create the person in your tree, and then then each time you have a page in your family tree, the profile of a person, there's a unique URL for that person. You copy that URL, and then on the slave owner's profile, you add it as a web link. So you can have a list of web links of all the individuals he enslaved, and then you do the same thing for the slave owner. You copy his URL, and on the profile page of the enslaved person, you put the web link to the slave owner. And so that links not just the slave owner to the enslaved, but it also links all of those individuals who were enslaved in that same place to one another, because chances are there's going to be some familial relationships there that you're going to discover as you continue your research.
Do you ever foresee a time when that might actually become similar to a family member, so that it is searched and found? Unlike a web link, people aren't, if they're searching for a person's name, a web link is not necessarily going to pop that up, right?
Well, if you search for the person's name, you'll find that person's profile, and then the web link shows just right there.
Okay.
But I see what you're getting at, and yes, that is something that we are trying to figure out, how you represent in a family tree environment non-familial relationships, and still and it's true of enslaved and slave owners. It's also true of the fan club research that we as genealogists do. You want to be able to say these people were the witnesses on the marriage, or this is the guy he bought the property from, and that's important to kind of start to keep track of. And right now, family tree environments don't do that really cleanly.
Well, I know you can, link somebody and then disassociate them so that you could create like an adoption relationship or a step relationship or something. So that's kind of what I'm thinking might be a possibility down the road. Do you guys see that at all?
That gets a little bit tricky, particularly when we're dealing with slavery in the United States, because I could link all of these individuals as a child and then change the nature of that relationship. But personally, I just feel that's a little bit disrespectful. We don't always know that. I mean, first of all, in some cases, the slave owner really was the father of those children, unfortunately. And we want to make sure that that's cleanly represented when biologically that's the truth. But when they're not their children, we want to make sure that we don't represent them as if they were. So we've got to just be really thoughtful about how we do it.
Absolutely. Okay, here's a question I had created an episode called How to Share Your Ancestry Tree with Another. And the question was from Bob Pagan, and he says, how do you pass down your tree to another without them having to pay for an Ancestry account?
So you can right now share your tree with anyone, and they do not have to have an Ancestry subscription, so they don't have to pay for it. They can have access to your tree. So for example, I share my tree with my mom. She has viewer access to my tree. She does not have a paid subscription to Ancestry.
Okay.
So she can see my tree on her account. She can interact with it. But she can't access the actual records on Ancestry. So she can see that there is a record. She can view the source information for that record. But if she wants to view the image of that record, she would need a subscription.
So she can see the tree, though, without problem. So if I hand my tree and I give, even at what, okay, let me, the questions are just rattling off in my head. If I give my daughter admin access, I die, I'm gone, and she now has admin access to my tree but no longer wishes to pay for it. Same thing goes?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure. If a member passes away, is the tree still public?
If the tree was public before they died, the tree will remain public forever. However, the inverse then is also true. If their tree was private and they die, that tree remains private unless a family member has password access to their account and chooses to change it.
Wonderful. All right, what did I not ask that you would like me to ask?
You know what? We're just having so much fun here at Rootstech, and I just hope people recognize that conferences like these are such a great opportunity to learn, but we recognize that not everybody can come to events like this. So Ancestry has been filming all of our classes. We've been providing some great content on social media. So just come follow Ancestry on social media. You'll get access to those resources whether you can attend great conferences like this or not.
Fabulous. And if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
You can find me on all social channels at Crista Cowan. My name is spelled Crista Cowan.
Wonderful. I will put a link to Krista's episode that she mentioned earlier in the show notes below. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well, there you have it. I got some of the answers to your questions that you've been asking. I try to do my best to get them out there. So if that worked for you, I hope so. Give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a video. There are other videos on the screen for you now that may be of interest to you. All right, until next time, keep on climbing your family tree. I am super excited to be here at Ancestry. Yeah, you threw me off walking up. Moment. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified each time we upload a video. All right, answers to some of your questions as well as some of my own and some of the new announcements that Ancestry's put out there.